Letty, are you gonna come help me like you said? Be my assistant? Okay, hello everyone. Welcome back. For me. Okay, so let me start at the beginning of this year. I set up this system and this game for myself of reading my TBR, which is really simple. It's just 3 categories of books represented by 3 mugs. Oh, there she is. What I did is I categorized all my books into 3 categories. Either extremely excited to read, pretty looking forward to reading, and then books that I have no idea like what they're about, or like don't know what they are and don't know why I have them maybe. And then I drew 1 book from each cup towards the beginning of this month. And my goal for January would be to read, all 3 of those books. And so what I ended up picking from the really excited to read category was The Hot Zone. Let me get it. By Richard Preston, which I think, even though I just made these recently, I think I honestly could have put this in a different category. in the medium category. And as you can see, I have not finished this, but I have read about half. And I'm pretty proud of myself for that, because this book, well, let's just say there are parts of it that are very difficult for me to get through, because it makes me so queasy. But yeah, actually, despite the disgustingness and the scariness of the topic, which is Ebola, I'm still really enjoying it. I enjoy how it's written and how, like, I don't know, like I love the parts about describing like the nature in Africa, like the jungles and in the caves and everything, even though it's like Ebola's coming out of there, but it's like I still just like take a nice little break and enjoy those parts, those small parts when they come. Yeah, but I'm going to oh, I also want to say that this is terrifying. This book is absolutely terrifying. This is terrifying, and the one thing that's really terrifying about it is, like, this is just one virus. Let me actually show you a little bit of this. It's so creepy, and it's so, like, ominous. Let me see. Oh, yeah. Just like how it describes, like, when someone becomes infected, and it's like, meanwhile, this is happening inside him, and he has no idea. And it's very, very graphic with I should say it's very matter of fact with the effects of Ebola on the human body. It's extremely detailed and matter of fact, let me say. Oh my god, let me read you this. This is so creepy. Okay, so this is like a scene where some scientists are in a lab and they're going to do like a necropsy on a dead monkey that passed away from Ebola. So it says, they were 2 human primates carrying another primate. One was the master of the earth, or at least believed himself to be, and the other was a nimble dweller in trees, a cousin of the master of the earth. Both species, the human and the monkey, were in the presence of another life form, which was older and more powerful than either of them, and was a dweller in blood. Oh my god. Oh yeah, and like, I thought this was really interesting. Like, this thing here. This thing, it says it could hold 9 million viruses on this. Jeez. Yeah, there's a picture of Ebola. Okay, yeah, so I'm going to continue reading this in February and hopefully finish it in February. And this is from what was it from again? Very excited. Okay, so I'm not going to pick a new very excited for February yet, which I think is fine. Next, I chose what I'm calling a medium book, which is a book that I have that think I'll like, but I'm probably like less sure about or not really sure what it's about. And this one I picked was Bluebird by Attica Locke. This was great. I gave this, let me think. I feel like I give this like 4.75 stars. Yeah, this was I would say a crime mystery novel. And it's also like, I would say a drama. Oh yeah, I need to look up what this girl's name is because I wanted to tell you that Geneva. Okay, so what I loved so much about this book was the atmosphere, and also the atmosphere felt very rich, and it felt, I don't know, like it just really felt like I was there when I was reading it. And I also wanted to say that my favorite character was Geneva. I have such a soft spot for her. I fell in love with her like immediately. Yeah, she owns a little like diner. Anyway, this book is about Darren, a Texas Ranger. He's a black Texas Ranger in Texas. And he comes into town to investigate a couple of murders that happened in a really small town, and there's like all these racial things happening also as well. Like the Aryan Brotherhood is in town, and they're like mixed in with the police force, and so there's a bunch of like shady stuff happening with them. And like, well, yeah, you know how it goes. But I have to say, I have to really give this book credit because I typically don't really even care for, like, when I read a mystery, I don't typically care for, like, a police perspective or, like, even a detective's perspective. I usually like to read it from, like, just a normal person's point of view. The way Darren was written, actually, it really intrigued me, and it really, like, I cared about it. Like, I cared about what a Texas Ranger is all of a sudden. I was like, oh, okay, that's actually impressive. When normally, like, I would just be like, huh? Yeah, but I really like this book. I do plan to continue in this series. There's 2 more books out I was happy to find. And I listened to this on audio, and I really enjoyed it. It was a full cast of characters. And so I'm hoping to continue that way. And the author also has several other books that are all like prize winners. So yeah, I'm definitely going to have to read more from Attica Locke. Wonderful. Okay. Lastly, from the no idea category, And this one was only there. This one was kind of like a fluke being there, because I had no idea what it was actually about, but I actually did really want to read it just because it's like one of these. I have like this obsession and this need to read every single one of these. And I think there's a lot, but this is actually the first one I've ever read, and it's the only one I have. Black Ambrosia by Elizabeth Engstrom. And I have to say, Miss Engstrom, she needs more flowers. She needs more praise. She needs more attention, in my opinion. Because this book was fantastic. It was... Let me see. I wrote down my thoughts. Let me see. Oh, I also wrote down my thoughts on my other one. We should see. Okay, I basically said everything I wrote down. Let me just say what this is about. This is about a girl named Angelina. And Angelina has been weird and maybe unsettling ever since she was a child. But once she became an adult, or a young adult, like a teenager, she kind of, well, she becomes an orphan, and she sets out on her own in the world. And she also, so she's going through that. Like, she's trying to, like, survive and everything, and, like, she's just hitchhiking across the country. Or I don't know if it's across the country, she's just hitchhiking around. At the same time, she's going through this, she's discovering this, like, change in herself, and, like, these, certain proclivities she has, these certain desires she has. She's certainly not a normal human being. This book is really, really weird. It's really, I don't know. It just feels so ahead of its time. It feels, I don't know. It feels like it could have come out like last year. You know what I mean? And been like the biggest, like a big, huge, popular thing. And you know what I mean? I don't know. And this also on the cover, I want to say, is her cane she ends up using, which I think is so freaking cool. Oh yeah, I was also gonna say that I love the language. Like, I love how it was written. It's so, like, dreamy and, like, strange. And then also, it does this thing where at the end of each chapter, like, every single chapter is from Angelina's point of view, but then at the end, you'll get an italicized section from a person who, like, experienced her during this time, and like how they perceived it, and like what actually happened. And yeah, I found that really, really interesting. Like, yeah, I like flew through this. I flew through this pretty quickly, actually. It was, yeah, very, very good. Can't wait to read more of those. Paperbacks from Hell. I also want to talk about, I read other books this month. I read a couple other things. I reread Strange the Dreamer. I just listened to it on audio. This book is so amazing. It's basically just like a beautiful, wonderful fairy tale. Adventure, magical, and what else do I want to say? Heartbreaking. Oh my god, so heartbreaking at the end. Oh my god, it's so painful. Yeah, can't wait to read the sequel. Can't wait to read it. I was gonna read it this month, but I'm thinking I won't have time. Maybe I will. Once I pull these books, I'm gonna pull my 2 books after this, and then after that I'll see if I think I'll have time. Plus, I already have 6 books taken out, 6 audiobooks taken out from the library, which is their limit. So, yeah. Anyways, also this month I read... Oh, yes. Okay, so I wanted to watch the second Black Phone movie, which I was like really intrigued to see, but I ended up kind of being disappointing. I wanted to read here it is. I wanted to read the short story to see, to compare it to the movie, because I rewatched the first movie to watch the second movie, which the first movie I just was like, oh my god, the first movie is so good. Loved it the first time, loved it the second time. It was so good. And I read the short story. It was really short. Let me tell you, they took the bare bones. They took like a tiny little sliver of something, of a story, to make that movie. Like, the story is extremely like short, bare bones. Kid gets kidnapped immediately, talks to like one kid on the phone, then kills the guy immediately. Like, it's quick. So I really have to commend like whoever made that, I don't know who it was, whoever made that first movie, because they really did something with that. But that second movie, let me say, the imagery was cool. Like, there was cool stuff that happened, but just like overall it was just like, after so long I'm just like, okay, again, and then I really didn't like all the retconning with like their mom and everything. I hated that whole thing. I wish that did not happen. Yeah, I just felt like that was, I didn't buy it. I was like, that's ridiculous. The other thing I read, oh wait a second, one other thing I'm working on reading, and I've been working on this since last year actually, and I'm still only 3 chapters in. Okay, but there's only 8 chapters. Okay. I'm like this far into it. The New Age of Empire by Kehinde Andrews. Let me see, I have the dust jacket here. How Racism and Colonialism Still Rule the World. Here's the cover. I would recommend absolutely everybody to read this book. Yes, I read the chapter on transatlantic slavery this month. Oh my word. I mean, it's just a mountain. It's just a complete mountain. I want to know what I want to say about this. I feel like this is like basically just like a textbook telling like fact after fact after fact after fact. So that's why I'm going really slowly through it, and I'm like taking notes and everything, and it's also like a really heavy subject, so I kind of just like, maybe I'll only read like 10 pages or something, and then I'll be like, okay, that's enough. But yes, very informative. I think if everybody read this book, then we would all be on the same page. The one thing that I found extremely crazy about transatlantic slavery in the West is how like slaves and descendants of slaves got absolutely nothing, like no reparations at all, for hundreds of years of like being not only being enslaved, but like all their labor. But then the slave owners got reparations so humongous that like millions, billions of dollars to the slave owners that had to give up their slaves. It's absolutely infuriating. Anyway, yes, so I'll probably just read like 1 chapter a month, maybe. I think that's like a reasonable pace for me at this time. The thing I read was, I'll have to put a picture in because I don't have this, Ordinary Men by Christopher R. Browning, about Reserve Police Battalion 101 and the final solution in Poland. So I decided to read this book because it's January 2026 right now in the United States, and it's been a very, very difficult and just there's been so many acts of horrific cruelty and violence basically every single day, multiple times a day, done by ICE against citizens, just normal people, all over the place, but especially in Minnesota and Minneapolis, it's been extremely stressful watching what's going on there. And I saw someone recommend this book. They were like, if you want to know what could convince, like, what's the mindset and the thought process of like the men joining a group like ICE, look at this book, where it goes through interviews of members of this battalion, ex-members, who talk about like what they did and how they did it and why. Oh yeah, it was based on the interviews of over 200 men. Yeah, this book was a tough one. This was another one that was just like a lot of numbers and a lot of like facts after fact, which is like, I totally get, like, it's a nonfiction book, but like that's what it's gonna be. I think it was worth it to read. Like, I am glad I read this. I learned, it's like another step on my self-education. It basically said that, like, what the author was saying is like there's a whole mix of motives for why all these different men joined the battalions, and that the majority of them didn't even like have any type of opinion on Jews at all. And it was just like a conformity thing and a deference to authority, and then also like just slowly getting used to like the killing over time and like that extreme violence over time, and getting desensitized to it, which I definitely see a reflection of that in the actions of ICE, in the in the straight up executions we've seen in January. That alone, you see like how the officers act, and they're so desensitized. Like, it's almost like life is like a video game, it seems like there's no, like, I don't know, like that's how it seems like they're acting, like, to me. Like, I don't know, like, it seems like, yeah, they're, I don't know, it doesn't seem to like they're like clapping and everything, and it's just, it's absolutely crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Yeah, but I guess I read this book in an attempt to like try to make sense of like this horrific shit to myself, and like to feel less out of control and powerless, I guess. So down the core characteristics of a person that can lead them towards or predispose them to following or joining a fascist party or supporting a fascist leader. And I wanted to read these because I found it very informative. Okay, so there's 8 core characteristics, okay? Number 1 is authoritarianism. Strong preference for hierarchical structures and submission to authority figures. Number 2, aggression toward outgroups. Hostility toward marginalized groups, minorities, or perceived outsiders, and a tendency to scapegoat others as the cause of societal problems. That's a big one, folks. That's a big, nasty one. Okay. Number 3, conformity and control. Preference for uniformity in thought, behavior, and culture with a desire to suppress diversity. Hostility toward dissent and opposition to ideas that challenge the dominant norms or state. 4, nationalism and superiority. A belief in the inherent superiority of one's nation, race, or culture, often accompanied by disdain for others. This is really important. This is a big problem in the United States, I would say. Romanticizing or glorifying a mythic past to justify dominance and exclusion. Okay. 5, anti-intellectualism, suspicion or rejection of critical thinking, intellectual debate, and education that challenges rigid ideologies. Preference for simplistic narratives, slogans, and emotional appeals over nuanced analysis. Look at that sun. Number 6, obsession with strength and masculinity. Come on, people. Glorification of physical strength, militarism, and hypermasculinity as virtues. A belief that softness, compassion, or emotional sensitivity are signs of weakness. Number 7, fear of chaos and change. Intense fear of social change or perceived chaos, leading to a desire to restore or preserve order. Oh. And number 8, projection of vulnerabilities. Insecurity or fear of personal inadequacy is projected onto others, resulting in aggression or bullying. Others are seen as weak or threatening, justifying preemptive domination or suppression. I thought that was really interesting. I thought that was really, I don't know. I like understanding things. I like trying to understand things. And I got this from an article called The Politics of Scowling, and it's about Mussolini. I'll link it down below if anybody wants to check out the rest of the article, because it has a lot of different stuff about fascism and authoritarianism in it. And I'm also going to put some resources down below. Let me see. I'm going to put some resources to resist against ICE down below and to protect yourself and your community. So I'm putting places where you can like report ICE, seeing ICE, or like find out if ICE is in your area. There's iceinmyarea.org, and there's also stopice.net, which allows you to send and receive mobile alerts with no app, which is really nice. And then I also have here standwithminnesota.com and immigrantdefensenetwork.org, which is places you can donate to help out. And then also I'm going to put 5calls.org, which is 5 phone calls that you should make to your representatives and all that to tell them to stop spraying ICE and basically do something about this. Yeah, that's January. Well, thanks for watching, and I will see you all in February for the February vlog. It's already February when I'm going to post this, but I'll see you for the February vlog. Bye!